You don't get much more collegiate than this. I had no idea this was going on, but it was awfully convenient. Now we have a soundtrack to think about. Totally different. Anyway, where I'm standing right now is in one of the newer parts of Harvard, believe it or not. Harvard has done nothing but expand over the years. And it all starts back in 1636. Thomas Shepard being a rock star, right, after all, decides that he's going to get the school permission right here in the new town. They throw it up. They got 2 buildings and a yard for some cows, basically. That's how Harvard starts. And in the beginning, it's just called the New College. 1638, it's about to open up when a young man, he's only 31 years old, his name is John Harvard, dies of tuberculosis. But he leaves us about 800 pounds and 400 books from his library, and thus begins Harvard University, named after him to see the first money to come in here. He leaves in his will, he says he wants his money in these books to go to the college run by his good friend Nathaniel Eaton. Nathaniel Eaton might have been a good friend to Henry Dunster, but he's not a particularly good friend to the students. He's kind of a grump. He lots of these long, sort of angry tirades and calls them his sermons, right? Because most of the classes take place in his bedroom, so it's weird how he gets to knock on his bedroom in the morning for classes, right? It's like a very tiny university. He also gets in trouble eventually for theoretically serving sheep intestines and all like the innards and the gross stuff to students at their lunches and stuff like that, keeping his money for himself. Not a guy that everybody likes. By the end of the year, every single student at Harvard, all 4 of them, have actually dropped out. So Nathaniel Eaton is promptly fired, and there is no Harvard University in 1639. It looks like it's failed. But in 1640, we find a guy named Henry Dunster, and he saved the day. It's why we named this street after him, actually, right down here. It's called Dunster Street. Most of the stuff around us is named after Harvard presidents. We'll talk about that in just a second. But Henry Dunster, very interesting guy. He's going to write the charter for Harvard that they will sort of ratify in 1650. That is the charter for Harvard until the 1830s. 200 years worth of organization comes from this guy. We're really, really proud of him. He's a great guy. Unfortunately, in 1654, he has to resign in a blaze of scandal. He starts preaching, you should not baptize infants. They don't have the choice. The only scripturally sound thing to do is baptize grown-ups when they've made the choice to accept all this religion into their life. Well, that's okay to preach that. It's not popular, but it's not okay to run up in the middle of a baptism, grab the baby from the altar, and run away with it. That's what they've done. So they have to fire him. Charles Chauncey takes over. Everything goes okay for a couple of years. Then he dies in 1672. And a guy named Leonard Hoare takes over. Now, we have Dunster Street, named after President Dunster. We have the Kirkland House, named after President Kirkland. The Eliot House, named after President Eliot. We have the Lowell House, named after President Lowell. There is no Hoare House in Harvard that I'm aware of. There's a couple of good reasons for that. One is the obvious, and the other one is Leonard Hoare, not a popular guy either. He likes to flog his students publicly to let them know that they're in trouble. And the guy that he hires to do this is the jailer of Cambridge. He's actually fired about 6 months into Leonard Hoare's for cruelty to prisoners. This is the day when we will nail your ears to the backboard of the stock if we suspect you of doing anything super treacherous. So, if you cruel to prisoners, you really have to go a step beyond everything else, right? Leonard Hoare, in March 1676, is forced to resign when everybody drops out of Harvard again, including the Harvard governors. They all resign, saying we won't come back till he's gone. So in a blaze of shame and scandal, he resigns. March 16, 1636. He's so upset by it, he stops eating, he stops going outside, he's dead by December. All this to say, Harvard has about as rocky of a start as Cambridge did, right? It doesn't go splendidly at the beginning. We don't really have a solid president until Edward Holyoake in the middle of the 1700s. But the first guy to really come in and be a popular president is the guy that this house is named after, John Thornton Kirkland. When he retires in 1827, seniors, 70% of the senior class write in letters saying, do not accept this guy's resignation. He's the best guy ever. He's not always popular. In 1818, he actually presides over one of the big rebellions here at Harvard called the Rotten Cabot Rebellion. Food in Harvard is notoriously absolutely rank and disgusting. It's really vile. 1766, the first time that Harvard Yard is occupied by protesters is in what we call the Butter Rebellion, when the rancid butter has forced them to decide to boycott classes. You stand in Harvard Yard with signs that read things like, give us, we pray thee, butter that stinketh not.
It's really hard to chant.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Give us butter that stinketh not. I don't know what it is. So the fact that 1818 is the Rotten Cabbage that does it. Ralph Waldo Emerson is among the food fighters that shatter plates, windows, wreck the tables. 4 people are expelled after this rebellion, and he is not going to take this kind of punishing lightly. He will expel you at the drop of a hat. In 1823, more than half of the senior class finds that out, and only 30 of them graduate from the original class of 81. he expelled almost all of them about 2 weeks before graduation for this scandal. These guys like to get drunk and break windows, so they would toss cannonballs off of their 4-story dormitories with really threatening notes to their RAs and bottom up. It's an interesting class, but I wish I had lots of time to tell you about it. But don't. Go home and look up the Great Rebellion of 1823. In the meantime, I would say he's a really remarkable president down here. He's got a steeple, right? If you got a steeple, you must be really important. That's Charles Elliott. Charles Elliott at the Elliott House named after him. He takes over in 1869. He retires on the day of his 40th anniversary as president of Harvard in 1909. His protege, A. Lawrence Lowell, takes over. Lowell House is named after him. Between the two of these guys, they spent 64 years running Harvard. They turned it into what it is today. All the brick facades are things that Lowell thinks are really important. Like the uniform down here. The wall, the fence around Harvard Yard, these guys are responsible for starting that. Charles Elliott, when he takes over, is discontinued compulsory math. He's not required to go to church anymore. He turns it from a provincial boys' divinity school with about 700 students when he takes over in 1869, having over 3,000 students when he leaves in 1909. He buys us Arnold Arboretum. He buys us the medical center over in the Boston campus. He buys us everything that makes Harvard Harvard today. He also starts the endowment. Harvard's endowment, by the way, last year was $31 billion. But it's the interest on the capital. So you got to imagine how much money Harvard actually has. It is one of the largest corporations in the world, let alone university. It's really incredible. That guy is responsible for most of it. He also comes up with better grades. For that, professors choose your rank based on what they think your merit was in your class. Now there's actually something you can go back and look at, A, B, C, D, F, right? He comes up with that, starts letting college students choose their own courses, not defining the curriculum for them. The collegiate system as we know it today more or less starts here at Harvard. And it starts by Charles Elliott. He's a really remarkable guy. And he leaves everything to his buddy, A. Lawrence Lowell, who takes over right where he left off. Lawrence Lowell does some really important stuff for us, but his building is really remarkable as well, especially the bells from that tower. It's so interesting to chat about them all over the